lovelies, bodies of light, entities and energies, all the 144 chosen of the chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth as always. I am Celestial Earth in this divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere other than 5D. You guessed it, the fifth dimension in the place to be. I see you, you see me. What are we doing in this spiritual industry? It's a lot going on. Happy whatever day this is for you, but Mercury goes direct. I don't know how many of you are aware, but Mercury goes direct and we are in full effect. We're going to feel the effects, right? Then while Mercury is going direct, we have Venus and Saturn in a conjunct. There's a conversation to be had. Like this, there's so much that has been happening, but let's talk about this Mercury going direct because it's been in retrograde for the past couple weeks, about 3 weeks or so. And we're being invited now. You know, Mercury is the planet of communication, travel. So a lot of the communication has been chaotic. It's been weird. I know a lot of people have been feeling that. Like, it's like, why is this such a hard conversation to have? Or we're just not having the hard conversations. Now we go direct. Now we are going to have those conversations if we choose to. Now is the green light to have those difficult conversations now that Mercury is going direct, right? And this is like everything that's happening right now. This is a major spiritual threshold for a lot of us. Those of us in 5D in the Aquarian age, there are a lot of shifts happening. The major cosmic shift, we're still feeling the effects of that, which is the Neptune moving into Aries, just coming out of Pisces, fresh out of Pisces. But the Pisces energy is still very heavy right now because we have a stellium still in Pisces. We have a couple of planets hanging around in Pisces, right? Mercury that just went direct, Pisces, Venus and Saturn, Pisces, North Node, Pisces. So there's a lot that's happening, and it's like with the retrograde, with the retrograde of Venus, I explained that already, that it is really echoing the energies of changing our perspective of how we see relationships, finances, things in the earth, how you see money, how do you see any relationship. I'm just talking romance relationships, how we are relating with one another. And this is a peel back layer that has to happen in order for us to have true right order and living in true collaboration in the Aquarian age, which is what the Aquarian age, the Aquarius energy is about: humanitarianism. How well are we going to be working with people? So, a lot of these things that are happening right now that may be uncomfortable for a lot of people is what has to happen to peel back the illusions, to peel back the lies, the confusion, to pull back what is not true so that we can live in right order, so that we can live in true right order and coordinates with one another, that this is a successful collaboration and moving forward with the Aquarian age, which is ushering us into the fifth dimension. 5D is unity. It's the unity frequency. And how else are we going to be in unity frequency if we're not in right order with one another? If we don't know how to collab, if we don't know how to come together. And so a lot of this coming together also means there is first a coming apart. Because if we're all in wrong order with each other, we're going to fall apart. There's going to be chaos. We got to come apart in order to come together. So you're going to feel a lot of discord. A lot of us have been feeling the chaos, and with good reason. With good reason that is within this good season. All due reason. So we're allowed to be seen what is happening in treason, right? What is the treason about? Peace, love, and light. Is that Tyrone? How you doing? Peace and greetings to you and welcome aboard the ship. And there is a lot of shift that is happening, and I know we're all feeling it because I'm feeling it. There are some revelations that are happening as we cross this spiritual threshold. These energies aren't happening for no reason. right? And so the Mercury going direct is really helping us see and through communication what we're to be doing and being right now, and even in looking back and where we have been, what we have been doing in the past 3 weeks while in Mercury retrograde, right? Look back at it and give yourself space and allow yourself to have forgiveness for whatever the miscommunications were during that time, because it came to show you what's really is and what's happening now and how we should communicate moving forward. It came to, as the working with the Venus retrograde, showing you how the relations have not been in right order, how our perspectives have been skewed, and a lot of things that may have happened, especially, and with all this, I must say, remember that the desperate energies are desperately doing what they do, right? So there's a lot of hiccups. It's going to cause a lot of discomfort from those who were used to communicating with, that this is no longer the reality for them. The way that we have been relating, there's no truth in that. And you're pulling away from the lies, you're pulling away from the illusions. The things that have been happening was to bring you the truth in the illusions, so that you can know that this is not the truth of who you are, right? And Saturn being that planet of, oh hell no. So planet is that Saturn is that, karmic debt. It's that authoritarian, planet. So as it comes in exact conjunct with Venus, it's really highlighting the oh no no no's in how we were relating, the oh no no no's in how we were seeing finance and money. It's allowing us to see the truth in it. It is time to let go. A lot of us are not understanding. The energies are really like putting that the buck stops here. Whatever you have been seeing, it is time to put it in truth. This is not the time to deny your third eye, because we've been sensing some things and we've been seeing it, but we've been overpowering it with thoughts and over reasoning. And the true heart vibrations are highlighting to us what is and what doesn't belong. And we're being pulled from that. So a lot of us may even be feeling it, even in our ascension symptoms in our body. We may feel nausea. I know I did over the weekend. You may feel these pulls on you. And I have to speak to my 5D people for real, in the true time reality of 5D, the 144, completion times completion. We're going to feel the tugs, and this is definitely something different. And it is for us to be responsible with the energies and the frequencies of what is. We can no longer deny ourselves because we have a preference or a favor, or we want it to be comfortable for others. It is not about their comforts. It is about what we must needs be done, what has to be done, right? Yes. Assertive. I think I see when you said it is assertive. It is about being very assertive right now. The frequencies are like, nope. It's time to assert who you are. Those of you who've known who you are and you've been playing small, we're no longer going to be allowed to play small. Be mindful of your conversations and how we are um, uplifting others, but downplaying yourself, right? This is not the time for that. This is the time to highlight who you are, and not in a brag, cocky type of way, but for you to stand on 10, to stand firm, to stand tall in your righteous energy, in your spiritual depths of who you are. Whether people around you get it or not, it is not your concern. It is not a time to downplay that. The energies are really boosting us up right now, and it's peeled back so much. We may have gone through some hurts and maybe some discomforts, but it's because we need to proclaim our domain. We need to proclaim our spiritual domain wherever we are, in the omnipresence of the divine, because it's the omnipresence of God, which means all, everywhere present. So wherever we are is our spiritual domain, and it's time to proclaim it. And so we're no longer going to be comfortable downplaying, small playing, upgrading everybody else but yourself. And I'm speaking especially to my spiritual leaders, because me being a 5D pioneer and facilitating workshops and doing what I do, it is about helping people to cross that bridge into their higher realms of themselves. But at the same time, when we come across those who are not respecting that order of who you are, it's for you to know the truth in that, and also set your boundaries for not exerting your energy with those and not engaging your energy with those. I'm not saying don't talk to them, don't be their friends, but do not engage your energies. Do not give into their palate and their plates, because they can't comprehend the dimensions of your soul. And there is much more to unfold. So this Mercury going direct is really pushing us to, now we're feeling the changes, and it's time to have those conversations that might have been hard to have. It's time to assert yourself in your spiritual, in your authentic authority. It is time to walk with that soul sovereignty and wear it bold like a badge on your chest. I am a soul sovereign, which means I am a sovereign being, which means I answer to no government. I answer to no politics. I answer to no one's traditions and rules and regulations outside of spiritual laws and rules. The spiritual laws speak for themselves. And when you are in alignment, when you know your assignment, you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you're on your assignment. And that is your spiritual domain. That is your spiritual house. This is what we're here to proclaim. So I share that so we understand, because as I was sitting in meditation, I had to play over what had been happening, especially the past couple days. I am feeling the push through these frequencies, and I'm feeling the pull back from old ways that it's just not going to serve anymore. And some of us may have to not have conversations with others for a while. Be in the stillness, be in the silence as we acclimate to these energies and these frequencies. And it's highlighting to you, from what I'm seeing, that there are some people that you just cannot connect to right now because of where they are. Not that they don't mean it, not that they mean to be a certain way. And I said this in a previous video, and I will share with you again. There are some that may not be able to, they'll be pulling on your light in a certain way that is not beneficial for you, and pulling you out of your framework, which is out of your assignment. And so we have to be mindful of where they are, and then therefore set those boundaries for where we are to be with them or where we are to not be with them. And that may mean not having a conversation for a couple of days. It may be standing still, because they're going to be pulling on you. And I have to explain this in a way that we understand that there's other energies, in the mix, so to speak, the opposition energies. And they're only people, we are all only as strong as our weakest link. So whatever they have not dealt with, whatever they're not aware of, whatever their weaknesses are, whatever they're dealing with, the opposition energy will use them according to that. Their own unhealed wounds will be their, let's say, their default. And they may be pulling on you, but they don't realize that the pulling on you can be pulling you out of your assignment, and you may need to take some space, take a break, because of compassion with where they are as well, and not wanting to over impress your energy as well, because we have to stand strong in our energy. And that energy, in standing strong in our energy, may be too strong for them, and it may feel like an imposition. So we may have to make a conscious decision, a hard decision for some, to be a little distant, to set a little boundary, to not engage in a certain way, to not give your energy, whether physically, emotionally, mentally, in certain way. Reserve and preserve your space, your energy. This is what we are realizing. Everything that has been shown to you, it's saying, as we go direct, communicate in this way. Through everything that has been shown to you, that means you are aware of what to do, what not to do. So now communicate in this way, and be bold. Be bold no matter how much it may hurt them. Be bold in your expression of who you are and your soul sovereignty. This is what this is highlighting. The Saturn with Venus conjunction, the Saturn is saying, oh no, no, no. Check yourself in the way that you're relating right now. The way that you see that relationship, the whatever you've been given it, Saturn is saying, oh no, it's giving you a no to that. You're feeling that bit of conflict, right? And the Mercury is giving you the direct go of how to communicate it. And the North Node is giving the little hints of this is the way, the yes, the expansion of it all, that this is the way we are moving in our spiritual endeavors. This is the going forward, because all of these are in the house of Pisces, the spiritual house. So it runs real deep. This is not shallow. This is not surface level stuff. But the North Node is our northward trajectory. So it's pulling, it's like, yep, come on. You see what you see. It's reminding you that what you saw was correct. What you heard was correct. What you experienced was correct by your third eye's intuition. Do not deny it. Do not deny your insight, your inner sights and inner senses. They're true perspectives of what is. It just is. It is what it is. And we are to behold those truths and uphold them. So we have to be mindful of how we're relating. And as I said, let me bring it back to, let me see what Tyrone is saying. If I could see it, because I can't, because of sunlight too. Kemet. It's something about Kemet. Ruled by Saturn. I have to probably go back and look at this and then respond to it. What else? Let me stay focused on what is happening with our interactions, because I feel like this is very important for us to see, for us to know. This interaction of, you may feel others, pulling on you, and it may feel like, vampires sucking you, draining you dry. It can feel draining, and this is why we have to take time to ourselves. If you feel that drain, if you feel like it's too much, just stop and say, no, I can't have this conversation right now. We have to give ourselves the time and space to calibrate, because they are going to be pulling. They sense the pulling away. Don't think that they don't. This is 5D. They sense the pulling away as we're ascending or transcending and transmuting some things. Things are changing, and they sense that. And don't think that the opposition energies that are utilizing them to slow you down and stop that doesn't know. So it's going to constantly kind of pull. And so we have to recognize these situations with others as we're communicating, as we're co-relating, that they're going to pull through that opposition. I want us to understand that opposition that is utilizing them is going to pull, and it's going to hint at certain things. Be mindful of the ego, because they will also feed through the ego. Every ego has a need to feed. They will feed through the ego, and they will then also try to feed your ego something. So be mindful of even what they tell you that may feel good, that may feel, like swelled up, right? Because none of us are beyond this. Be mindful of that misappropriated ego, because they will feed something to you while trying to feed on you, because that energy is feeding on them. And although they may mean well, we have to be honest with ourselves and keep a certain distance. Respect where they are. Respect the levels of where they are, how they are existing. And know that, because it is something that will pull out on you. And those of us that are transcending and ascending, we have to be able to feel these vibrations. Hi, Miss Oracle. Peace, love, and light. We got to be able to identify it and be able to hold back and pull back what we can. And it's nothing personal. It's definitely not personal, but it is to be honest with the energies and what they are going to be doing. The desperate energies are going to be pulling and wanting to pull you out of alignment and off of your assignment. And they're them on the other end, they're sensing all of these shifts. They're sensing when you pull away. They're sensing that you are ascending into something else and you don't have this to give to them right now, right? And they may even lash out because they're going to feel like it may feel like a rejection to them. It may feel like being left behind, but it is for us to stand in our truths and be firm in our boundaries that we set. For some of us, let me be honest, for some of us, this may feel like a time. We're time traveling. So as we're jumping timelines and shifting out of certain timelines, it is feeling like allergic reactions for some of us. I don't know about everybody else, but for me, it's one of those times. This hasn't really happened to me since maybe about 2022, where this was a major quantum jump. There was a major shift that you're feeling where everybody can't go with you, even those that you feel were on a spiritual path with you. There's going to be some kind of stoppage there. Um, you're going to feel sensitive. Some of us may be hypersensitive um, to feeling the resistance in others wherever they have any resistance. Not that they're consciously saying, I resist you. Because if you ask them, they're going to say, no, there's no resistance. It doesn't make any sense to ask them. This is for us to utilize our observer qualities. Be the observer. Witness what is happening. We don't necessarily have to have the conversation with them because they're not aware of it. It's for you to recognize that they have resistance. And I'm speaking to my empaths. I'm speaking to my real tuned in inner sensory people that pick up on the vibrations and the energies. My clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyance, because you see in a realm that they see not. You know in a realm that they know not. And this is a time where we are to be assertive and responsible for what we see, what we hear, what we know, what we feel. And so, hypersensitive to that right now, as you're crossing that spiritual threshold, you're going to feel, because we're feeling that split even more, and you're going to feel it. And it is for us to, in recognizing it, it's a way to, in a workshop, I would be able to break this down a little bit more, because it's something that is just not so black and white. And you have to be able to recognize what's happening with you and not take it personal. Don't beat up on yourself or the other person. Just really understand it's very transpersonal. We got to be transpersonal. And understand it's nothing personal against you, but you are sensing, you're so hypersensitive. We're sensing their resistance and their unprocessed, wounds and things like that. And we're sensing what they don't understand, right? Particularly for me right now, I can sense what they're not getting. Um, and it's to know that, not to have the conversation beyond that point. Um, and not be frustrated within yourself as well, because the informations are like, the veils are so thin right now, and we're seeing everything, and but the information is coming through heavy for a lot of us, for a lot of you, right? And this is a matter of shifting your directions, right? Shifting what's happening. Get grounded during these times. Be very grounded. I have to find myself sitting with nature, I can't be too involved with people right now, because people are peopling, right? We're all trying to sort through these energies. So being grounded, being one with nature, so you can get the essence, you can get the information through the energies, through the earth, through the ground, right? Because as above, so below. And getting connected to the earth, it is a help in keeping you connected to the cosmos, right? From the cosmos, from the newt to the netter, down into the earth, to the medu netter, the divine nature within the earth. And when we connect to that, then we can safely, integrate with the energies on the grid, and be able to receive the codes, the downloads, the upgrades, everything that's coming through the light grid, everything that's coming through Metatron's cube, all of that into your Merkaba bodies, your light spirit body activations. There's a lot of activations that are happening, right? And we have to be able to process this, but we got to be wise with ourselves. We have to recognize that there's other energy out there, and yes, your loved ones, your very loved ones, will be pulling on you. So I don't want to say there's nowhere where you're not safe, but you may feel like I'm not safe around anything right now, and including within your own household, because everyone's going through their own, transits through this time travel, through this transit in time. Um, we just have to have patience with one another, but we have to stand firm. We have to stand firm in what is happening around us and in us and through us. Right. And I find myself, even as I said, having to pull away, having to take a step back, feeling these hypersensitive feelings, and knowing that it's not personal. But I can't engage with you in this way right now. And some people are not going to understand it. And they're going to miss that, bridge. Because some, I realize there are some that are being bridged to me right now. But if they are misconstrued in the understandings of it, that bridge that will pass them. And I will have to continue on. And we just have to accept that. I would love to help you. I would love to help everyone, but it just doesn't work that way. So when they miss that, you have to continue on, and there will be others that are there to meet you right where you are and continue the work with you. This is our starseed connection. We are finding our soul tribes even more. You're finding your son, and some of us may have thought we found our soul tribes, and they were a part of the bridge. They were a part of the railroad, getting from one station to a next. So we have to be willing to know when to let even those go, because they are where they are, and by their resistance they can go no further. So you have to be willing to part ways in that way. Again, not saying you can't ever see them again. I'm speaking everything energetically, but part ways in that way and continue forward, and only doing the works with those who are doing the works of the higher frequencies with you at the level that you are, because everybody's at different frequencies. Find your frequency compatibles, okay? Find your frequency compatibles and be willing to work with them, and know when the ones who you were once compatible with, you're not compatible anymore, until they catch back up. It may not be forever, but for right now, be willing to part ways energetically, even if it's temporarily, just in the way that you're engaging, because it's going to pull you out of that assignment. It's going to pull you out of an alignment that you're already set up for, these destined coordinates. So I share this so that we see with this Mercury going direct, that there's everything's going to be clearer now, even if it's not super clear. But looking back and giving thanks, being grateful for the chaos, the perfect chaos that is bringing you into where we're to move forward, right? Whatever hiccups we may have had, it was to happen for such a time as this, to help us cross this threshold. All of this energies that we're having right now, from the chaotic frequencies of last month in March to right now in April, where things are going to be a little bit shaky. It's opening up even more because the planets are going to go direct. Venus is going to go direct on the 12th, but we still have Saturn in Pisces. We still have our North Node is going to be in Pisces for the next, year and a half, right? And so there are things that are pulling us into this spiritual house. The whole spiritual capacity is about to open up for a lot of people, but not without some type of disgruntledness, because people have to get over their stigmas, right, and what they want to do. And a lot of us that are moving forward, we're shedding some things as well. It's a shedding for us all, and it's just to understand how this shedding is showing up, how it's happening. So for those of you that are in the detox to detach, thank you we're welcome. I'm saying thank you, but it's not like you're doing it for me. Like, thank you for showing up for you and doing what you need to do, whether you are in this workshop or in another workshop, right? And there is the solar plexus workshop is going to be coming up right behind this, a 3-day workshop. I would strongly advise others to get in that if you've missed any other workshop, because these are like back to back workshops that I'm being guided to have there for those who need the help in bridging the gap and bridging over into the fifth dimension, because we need a lot of help in the transition of it. It is a transition, right? And the solar plexus is how we show up. It's our identity body. It's how we see ourselves. And a lot of that is being challenged right now, even just in the relationships. They're challenging because it's how you have set yourself up to be seen in a relationship. It's the titles that you think you hold and the status that you think you hold in these said relationships that have got the concepts misconstrued and skewed. So it's when we unlock these things, when we really find our true balance and our harmony, especially in our solar plexus, and also having help in finding humor. That's one of the strengths of the solar plexus, is finding humor in everything that's happening, so that you don't drive yourself crazy, so that you don't let all these other chaotic things throw you off. When you find humor, the humor helps balance the turbulence and the inconsistent, the instability that you may be feeling, the insanity that seems to be, wanting to cloak itself around us. So I say that so that we, you know, be on the lookout for these things. So when I say solar plexus workshop, you may want to dive in, especially if you've missed the previous workshop and this one, the detox, the detach, which is really helping us to see how to detach, what we need to detach from, and watching our emotions, the emotional body. It's a lot of sacral activity going on as well. There's a lot of sacral breaking up happening right now, so that we can be strengthened in our solar plexus, right? And let all of these are our lower chakras that we're really getting hit with. A lot of people are not realizing that the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. So when we recognize that and we know how to um, step into our rightful vehicles, get into your macabre, get into your crystalline bodies. There's so many transitions that are happening. We'll be able to find our rightful place in time, space, reality, in our consciousness, in our soul's consciousness, because there's so much that is unfolding. So take this time, this going direct, look at some things that you may need to have a conversation about, some people you may need to have a conversation with. Look at some things in communication that you may be wanting to adjust or fix right now, even in the way you are present on social media. I myself, there's something that, if you're not so tech savvy like me, think about getting into something that will help educate, so that you can have healthy access to with social media and how we're engaging. Right, we have to have some downtime, know when to put things down. There's a whole lot to it. So communication is not just how we speak to people, it's also how we listen. What is your receptivity? Do you have reciprocal energy? Are we able to reciprocate good energy, give and take, and not just take, take, take? And what can you do for me? A lot of us are recognizing these type of energies around us, and we're realizing I can't give to you because you're just taking and taking and taking, and there is no reciprocal energy. And it is time to set a boundary, however that may look, so that it frees you up, believe it or not, and thrusts you forward into where we're going as we cross this spiritual threshold. Ashe? So, with that said, I'm going to leave you all with that, and we will reconvene. Enjoy your communication release, because that's what this going direct is like. Whoo, release. And remember to forgive anything else before this, and just reflect, so that you can know how to open your dialect and which way you want to go and move forward, and how. and be firm with those that you have to be firm with. Ashe. With that said, each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light.